Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. State your name and what you do.
I'm Seamus Nally, and I'm a landlord.
My name is Harrison Stevens, and I'm a landlord.
My name is Sarah Capra, and I'm a landlord.
The reality is real estate is the third largest asset within the United States. So I think it's super important that individuals are able to participate that and not just companies and corporations. And real estate as an asset class is very valuable. It is more resistant to inflation than certainly other things like public stocks. It generates income while you're holding it, right? And then it goes up over time. And so if we're doing our job, the amount of landlords that are investing in real estate within the United States will continue to increase, and those businesses themselves will be more successful, and the landlords will feel much more confident and empowered to manage them. So TurboTenant is a platform used by over 700,000 landlords across the United States. And our mission is very simple: make it easier as a landlord for you to manage the property yourself. Everything from marketing your property to filling that property, screening a tenant, making sure that you got the right tenant in your property, leasing, and then the largest part of your relationship, which is your residency, facilitating rent payments and maintenance requests.
I think a big part of the rental market, and even my own experience as a renter, is inconsistency with different landlords. And by providing consistent opportunities to educate landlords through how they build a lease, how they collect rent, and then educating them through what we call residency once a tenant has actually moved in, is just a better experience for tenants. I've had a tenant reach out to me for months on a platform that I didn't use. And then after they moved out, I discovered all these conversations and was really disappointed. These were things that I could have solved for them in a day, and they waited 2 months to just call me. If I was using TurboTenant at the time, would have been so much clearer of your lease was done on TurboTenant, your application was done on TurboTenant, your background check was done on TurboTenant, all of your documents are stored on TurboTenant. Of course, all your communications will happen on TurboTenant. The all-in-one aspect of the product is better for everybody.
I describe TurboTenant to fellow landlords as a godsend. And I know that's a little much, but literally they have helped me be organized, and I really appreciate it.
With one click, you literally launch your rental into the world.
I love getting on webinars and communicating with fellow landlords, fellow real estate investors.
Our app streamlined the most important and otherwise arduous parts of the process for landlords and managing their rentals, both in terms of vacancy and residency. So if a landlord is trying to set up a listing to post on different sites, when they're going through the process of setting up their listing, we have an AI tool that very quickly generates a description for their property, and with one click of a button, that listing will go out on a variety of different listing sites. They can also message tenants within the app, track expenses or rent payments, all in one centralized location.
Anything I need them to sign, I do it right in the app, and it takes care of everything. It's perfect.
And just the technology they offer, especially in regards to receiving tenant payments.
I can't say enough good about them.
Another way that TurboTenant helps to transform the rental management process for landlords is by distilling down and seamlessly integrating what are often unknown unknowns or variables for landlords. I'm specifically speaking within the context of compliance. So state, city, county laws, when they come to TurboTenant and they want to create a lease agreement specific to each of those states, once we know that information, which they can easily select within our software, then we automatically incorporate that and inform them of the laws that are relevant to them.
And the ways in which we've already woven AI through it, helping with the custom questions to stay within fair housing compliance, helping with that lease agreement to make sure that you're not putting anything in there that violates local laws. We're very excited to weave that into the other aspects of the landlord journey. So a really simple but impactful example is a very common maintenance request a landlord might get from a tenant, and I've gotten this myself, right, is the toilet won't flush. One of the ways in which AI is going to start playing a really active role in that within the TurboTenant platform is we can actually send back, utilizing AI, the first couple steps to triage that issue for the tenant, right? And so we can ask them a couple of questions, give them a couple things to check themselves, and 9 out of 10 times, it's actually going to resolve the problem. Let's say it doesn't solve the problem and the landlord has to do something. They've now gathered more information from that tenant about what kind of service provider they need to get. And so that's a very small interaction, but it's where a lot of the friction happens in the tenant and landlord relationship. But we can actually take the landlord out of the line of fire altogether and provide solutions immediately.
Sometimes there are problems that can't be solved with technology, and that's where education really becomes a passion project for our company. There's so many topics out there that are really complicated, and we want to make sure that we can arm landlords with as much information as possible. And the best way to do that is with education. And if it's free, more landlords will use it and be better landlords for their tenants.
With over 700,000 landlords, we have lots of landlords to survey, talk to, ask questions, and see how are we meeting their needs. What needs are we not meeting that we should consider investing into? And then it's also keeping an eye on the horizon. What trends are happening out there, things like AI, that provide a unique opportunity for us to serve our landlords better or make parts of their process a lot easier.
By creating this easy, all-in-one solution, it just creates more opportunity for success for small-time investors to go out and be successful in how they invest their money. And I think that's a great thing for the economy.
Anyone who's purchased a home in the past can relate and understand what a sometimes long and difficult and emotional process that can be. And so providing a place where people can come back to every day and feel like there's just peace and comfort there, and an interim place where they can come back to until they find their forever home, that feels really good.